If your heart feels tired from carrying silent promises, stay with me. I see the way you pray, try, begin again, and yet feel smaller by the week. There's a discreet shame that doesn't shout, a fear of saying, I will, and watching yourself not follow through. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You're simply living with a habit that has been draining your strength drop by drop, so quietly that it almost feels normal. Here is the hard truth told with care. The hidden habit that destroys confidence is breaking your own word in the small things. Not to others, first to yourself. You say, I'll wake at 6, I'll save $10, I'll pray for 10 minutes, and then you break the agreement. It seems minor, it seems private. But every micro break writes a line in your inner ledger. Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a record between you and you. Each kept promise adds a steady +1. Each broken promise records a quiet 1. Over time, the balance decides your courage. Scripture has always spoken to this with a simple, grounded wisdom. He who walks in integrity walks securely. Proverbs 10:9. Security is not magic, it's the fruit of alignment, word and action, moving as one. And again, like a city broken down and without walls is a man who lacks self-control. Proverbs 25:28. When our self-command cracks, the wind of every mood enters and rearranges the furniture. Integrity restores the walls. Self-control repairs the gate. Your word, especially to yourself, is the beam that holds the roof. Joseph Murphy offered an image that still helps. The subconscious is soil. It accepts what you plant and what you repeat with feeling. When you promise and do not deliver, you are not just disappointing yourself once. You are impressing the soil with a message. My word does not carry weight. The soil does not argue. It grows what it's given. Soon, without noticing, you feel an invisible resistance every time you try to act, because the soil expects you not to. This is not punishment. It is programming, and it can be rewritten the same way it was written, through small, consistent, emotionally honest repetition. Earl Nightingale added another clear thread. We become what we think about. If the most repeated thought is, I'll do it later, the mind learns to filter the world for later. Opportunities pass because the inner editor stamps them tomorrow. Eventually, even your prayers feel postponed, not because God is far, but because your inner agreement is. Thought by thought, promise by promise, you trained your attention to delay. The good news is that attention can be retrained. So this is our promise today, quiet and practical. We will name the pattern without shaming you. We will open the mechanism beneath it, how the brain, the body, and the heart learn from micro breaks and start to anticipate failure before you even begin. Then we will replace the cycle, not with grand declarations that collapse by Thursday, but with a simple protocol for 24 hours and for 7 days. Measurable, small enough to be honest, strong enough to rebuild. By the end, you will know exactly what to do today, before the day ends, to begin healing the ledger. Not to prove yourself to anyone, but to restore your inner authority in God's presence. Let your body be here as you listen. Feel your breath slow down, drop your shoulders, notice the gentle weight of your feet on the floor. You don't have to defend yourself right now. You don't have to explain the last decade. You only have to be willing to tell yourself one true thing and keep it. Discipline is not punishment. It is love for your future self. Integrity is not performance. It is peace. Your mind hears every word your heart repeats. Speak carefully. Act quietly. Let the smallest action carry the greatest honesty. You may have been told that confidence comes first and action follows. What if it is the other way around? What if confidence is the echo of kept promises? One action kept, then another. One morning honored, then another. A string of days that say, with God's help, my yes means yes. When the subconscious sees this, when the soil receives the new seed with feeling, it shifts the expectation. It begins to anticipate completion. Courage rises, not from noise, but from evidence. Stay with me as we turn the light gently on this habit. We will not rush. We will not dramatize. We will simply walk through the door together, identify the leak, understand its path through your thoughts and your body, and seal it with something you can do today. You do not need applause. You need alignment, and alignment begins here. One small promise, spoken with faith, fulfilled with quiet diligence, and recorded where it matters most, in your own heart before God. There is a leak you rarely see because it hides inside ordinary mornings. You set the alarm for 6, whisper a promise about saving a small amount, say you will pray for 10 quiet minutes, and then life blurs the edge, and the promise dissolves. It looks harmless. It feels private. Yet every small break loosens a brick in the inner wall. Confidence is not a mood that visits at random. It is a ledger, the sum of kept promises and broken ones. Each delivery is a quiet +1. Each slip records a 1. Over weeks and months, the balance sheet shapes your courage. When the balance is low, rumination gets loud. Procrastination becomes defensive, a way to avoid the burn of another disappointment. You start fearing public commitments because a private memory whispers, "You won't finish." It is not a lack of focus. It is the fracture of an alliance. Without alliance, the heart will not follow the mind. Integrity speaks in plain scripture. He who walks in integrity walks securely, Proverbs 10:9. Security is not noise. It is the calm of knowing your word and your action are neighbors. Without self-control, Proverbs says, you are like a city without walls, 25:28. The wind goes where it wants. Every mood enters. To rebuild, you do not need louder words. You need to seal the crack where the water keeps escaping. Imagine a cistern with a fine break along the base. You can pour all you have into it, hope, prayer, intention, and still the level sinks. The fix is not more water. The fix is the seal. There is a simple way to begin the seal in the next 24 hours. One micro-commitment, brief and honest, completed early in the day. Many people choose something like 5 minutes of prayer followed by 5 minutes of order, clearing a small surface or gathering receipts, done before the noise begins. A pencil mark on a paper calendar becomes a small stone placed back into the wall. Over 7 days, that micro-commitment can grow by a minute or two, not to impress anyone, but to train the heart that your word still carries weight. If a day is missed, there is no drama, no compensation spree. The agreement simply resumes the next morning. The cistern does not need a flood. It needs a reliable seal and a steady stream. Pause here. Is your life in practice a kept promise or a beautiful justification? The question is not meant to accuse. It's meant to give you back the gate key. Your mind hears every word your heart repeats. Speak small, true words. Keep them. Let the ledger rise by evidence, not emotion. Anxiety often shows up before the work ever begins. A task sits on the desk, and your chest tightens, as if you have already failed. There is a reason. The habit loop, trigger, routine, reward, doesn't only train you to act, it can train you to avoid. A promise creates a small spark of dopamine as you imagine the future done. When you don't follow through, you still get a different reward, the brief relief of not facing discomfort. That relief teaches the brain to pair avoidance with safety. The amygdala learns this pattern and begins to file commitment under threat. Cortisol rises at the thought of beginning. The default mode network grows louder with self-critique and comparison. You pray, but your body is braced, as if prayer itself were a test you might fail. There is a counterintuitive turn that liberates this circuit. Smaller goals are sometimes the fiercest kind of faith, not because you doubt God, but because you honor the truth of your current capacity and let coherence heal the wiring. When the task is scaled to honesty, the nervous system stops sounding the alarm, and the loop learns a new association. Commitment equals predictability, not threat. A useful doorway in the first 24 hours is the 2-minute beginning. Open the Bible and read aloud for 2 minutes. Open the spreadsheet and enter one number for 2 minutes. Open the notebook and write 3 lines for 2 minutes. That is not a trick. It is medicine. It shifts the loop from dread to motion. Across 7 days, attach that small start to a fixed trigger. Always after the first cup of coffee, always right after the children leave for school, always immediately before washing the dinner dishes. Fixed triggers teach the body to expect ease at that moment. Over time, the mind stops arguing because the choice has been made in advance. Ask gently, do you fear the task, or do you fear the feeling of disappointing yourself again? The answer matters because if it is the feeling you fear, then a small, reliable start is exactly the antidote. Once the body learns that starting is safe, continuing becomes simpler than stopping. Words shape atmosphere. There are phrases that slide out as humor. I'm just lazy. Nothing works where I live. One day I'll try. And they seem like defense, like a wink to reduce the pressure. But they brand the jars on the shelf of your mind. If the label on the jar says poison, you will not drink from it, even if the water inside is clean. Call a task impossible, and your attention, through the brain's filtering system, stops noticing the small openings that contradict your label. It is not brutal honesty, it is a daily prophecy delivered in a casual tone. Over time, those small declarations protect the ego from the sting of trying and not finishing, but they strangle courage. People begin to discount your word before you speak because you have been the first to discount it with a joke. The door you wanted to open is already closing on the hinges of your own language. Confidence struggles to rise where the tongue lays out funeral clothes for every new attempt. There is a quiet fast that resets this atmosphere in a single day, a day without self-deprecating irony. Each time the old joke comes to the lips, replace it with an operational sentence. Commit your work to the Lord, and then name a next step in plain detail. Today after lunch, 15 minutes on the resume. Not a slogan, not a chant, just a sentence that puts your feet somewhere. Across 7 days, keep a simple journal of conversion. Note 3 recurring negative phrases. Rewrite each with a verb, a time, and a place. After dinner, I review 1 page. At 7:30, I message that client back. These aren't magic words. They are new labels on your jars, truthful and concrete. Consider softly, what sentence does your family expect to hear from you without even thinking? What sentence will they start to hear this week? When language changes, attention follows. And where attention goes, energy goes. And where energy goes, life begins to grow again. Some environments make promises thin. In certain circles, lateness is a joke, commitments are elastic, and discipline earns a smirk. You take a step and feel it tugged back by the current. Proverbs again speaks with tender clarity. Walk with the wise and become wise. 13:20. Emotional contagion is real. This is not about rejecting people. It is about recognizing purpose. Not every friend is a companion for building. Some are for resting. Some are for account. Gentle, mutual, respectful account. When you blur those functions, your calendar fills with other people's urgencies, and your word loses its place. A careful, non-judgmental look at your week can reveal the current you are swimming in. List the names that fill your days and notice who pulls you toward completion and who pulls you toward delay. One call to the person who quietly completes. 15 fewer minutes with the voice that normalizes postponement. Not because either one is better as a human, but because you are rebuilding a wall and need, for this season, hands that steady the beam. 2 or 3 people can become a small ring of alignment. Each person carries one daily commitment, sends a simple photo when it is done, and ends the day with a brief prayer for the others. Nothing elaborate, no grand speeches, just evidence. This is the greenhouse for seeds: warmth, shelter, steady moisture. Even a strong seed needs conditions that protect its first root. Ask with care. Who in practice protects your yes? When you know the answer, you will know where to stand while the new wall sets. Starting again can feel dangerous when the memory of again holds failure. Here is a model inspired by Joseph Murphy's gentle insistence that the subconscious is soil, seed soil, season. Seed is intention, brief and biblical. I consecrate 15 minutes each evening to focused study, or I honor 10 minutes each morning in prayer and Scripture. Proverbs 16:3. Soil is a recorded prayer, 60 to 90 seconds, spoken in your own voice, with the intention inside it and a single, sober image of the next step. Not a fantasy, not a castle in the clouds, just a picture of your hands doing the thing at the time you named. Season is a fixed window, the same each day for 7 days. When the time arrives, the body recognizes the light and sits down by itself. After 7 days, something shifts. The brain begins to expect completion as normal. After 30, identity starts to catch up. I am someone who delivers what I quietly promise. The ledger tilts toward trust, not because you hyped yourself into courage, but because you became trustworthy to yourself again. One man, a 47-year-old Mason, often arriving home bone-tired, kept failing at a daily devotional. He reduced it to 5 minutes, read a psalm aloud, and added 10 push-ups at the end as a small bodily anchor. 3 weeks later, the minutes grew on their own, not by force. His nights made room for a technical course he had postponed for years. Nothing glamorous, but deeply human. There is a way to make this visible, because visibility encourages the soul. Record the short prayer on your phone so you can hear your own voice remind you of the pact. Draw 7 squares on paper and place it where your eyes land each evening. Each completed day earns a simple mark. When the week is complete, celebrate with something small and concrete: a better coffee, a walk by the water, a chapter of a good book in silence. Each mark is a plank across a gap, and 7 planks already form a bridge. The body learns the rhythm of finishing. The heart learns the peace of integrity. The mind, watching both, relaxes its guard. Pause with this question: what is the smallest daily win that will prove to you that your word has weight again? Let the answer be modest. Let it be honest. The point is not to impress anyone. The point is to heal the alliance and make your yes mean yes again. The hidden habit that erodes confidence is not out there. It is the private breaking of one's own word. The subconscious learns from repetition with feeling, and if the repeated pattern is postponement, it will come to expect postponement. Joseph Murphy would call us back to substitution with emotion. Plant kept promises in small, steady rows until the inner soil expects fruit. Napoleon Hill would add that autosuggestion is not a chant in the mirror. It is words fused with proof, language married to delivery. Without delivery, intention becomes static. With daily delivery, identity changes. Scripture stands beside us with 2 short anchors. He who walks in integrity walks securely, Proverbs 10:9, and commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established, Proverbs 16:3. Integrity and commitment, word and action, form the beam and the seal. If today holds a single micro-commitment of 10 to 20 minutes, held in a recorded prayer and completed before the evening closes, the ledger moves. Not as spectacle, but as seed. 7 days will not produce a new life, and that is not the promise here. 7 days will lay an honest foundation. The quiet certainty that with God your yes has begun to mean yes again. You do not need applause, you need alignment. And alignment grows one kept promise at a time in the presence of the one who keeps his. Thank you for spending this time in quiet honesty. If something in this message met you where you live, if a single line gave you back a small piece of yourself, let it be witnessed. Leave one sentence in the comments to seal your decision. My yes means yes. Writing it once is a decision. Repeating it daily becomes identity. Your mind hears every word your heart repeats, and the simple act of writing anchors the promise in both. As you return to your evening or your morning, carry a calm pace and a clear center. No noise, no rush, just one kept word at a time before God, and the wall begins to hold again. I'm grateful you were here. Until the next video, walk in quiet alignment and steady grace.